Hi, Stan with 3D PT. This video is going to be kind of showing some revisions and some new ideas I've got about making like different material prints for 3D printing. In the past, I did a video about printing over fabric. So this is a section of denim, and this is Ninja Flex semi-flex print on top of that. This has been a nice, strong, rigid material for printing, and it holds its shape well, and it makes a great wallet, especially the jean fabric. When you put this in your pocket, it breathes. So it's not like heavy leather wallets that kind of get a little sweaty, moldy against your legs or in your back pocket. And actually, after a couple days in my pocket, it's pretty much retained this springy shape, so it does help keep everything inside. Now, I've wanted to experiment with printing with different materials in one print through its single print head. So this is a first design of the similar wallet. This is Ninja Flex TPU on top of ColorFab NGen. And you can see here it folds over nicely. I just made some design mistakes in this design, so I made too much room here. And it's so floppy here that I need to stiffen this up. And I had some other print issues with this one. But I did a couple other things. With Ninja Flex or any of the TPUs, you don't want to print directly on a Ninja LesBot build plate because it just sticks so well to it. So you can see here it has a nice shiny texture. And I did this by printing it over packing tape. And that gives it a nice smooth finish compared to like kind of that paper texture finish from blue tape. It also just looks nice and slides smoother into my pocket. So I designed this in TinkerCAD. Let me get this screen out of the way. So in TinkerCAD, here's the original design for the wallet in green. And so I just designed this, and it lays flat on the work plane in TinkerCAD. But when I took it to the printer to print, I just lifted the tool head up by about 1 millimeter to print on the fabric. So I'll include the link for the previous wallet video on that. Now this new design, I made the box here a bit deeper. I actually put cutouts for the wallet or rubber band or hair ties here. And this is going to be a little bit stiff. This is going to have that stiffener here, and it'll also press into the box when it folds over to help give it that retention. So I'm going to hold off on publishing these. So before you go STL bro on me, I'm going to make sure the design works, test it more, and if I do, I'll probably end up just selling both these designs on my Manufacturer or some other or Producer printers. And I know TinkerCAD's kind of looked down on as a CAD program, but you can actually do some decent design work with it, so I've never had any issue with working with it. And when I take it to Cura, I'm printing it at 2/10 millimeter thickness. I was printing at 3/10, but that was giving me some issues. So this should take about 2 hours to print. I did not put in a G-code change on this to change the materials. I'm just going to eyeball it like a color change. But in the future, you might want to add a G-code to change color at something like layer height 4. And so let's see here. So it looks solid. X-ray. It's pretty thin on the retainer, so it should sit nice. Overall, I'm hoping that this wallet's only like 10 millimeters at most, and it's a fairly slim wallet as well. So with that, it's printing right now behind me, and I'll pull it off and show you in a couple hours. So earlier I did a video on printing a wallet on fabric, and I'll link to that. So this has actually served me real well. It fits nicely in my pocket, and the fabric breathes a little bit. But I've been wanting to try some dual material. So right now I've got ColorFab Engine and NinjaFlex TPU. So I'm gonna print a new wallet design. This one I'm just gonna do basically like a color change. Now I can do this because both materials have the same print temperature. To make it fit smoother in my wallet or in my pocket, I'm not going to print over blue tape. I'm actually, I don't know if you can see some of the bubbles here. This is actually packing tape. So I'm going to print flexible over packing tape. And then about a millimeter up off the build plate, so about 4 or 5 layers up, I'm going to change the color to the rigid. So I'm going to have a flexible frame going around a rigid core of the wallet. You'll see what I mean when I'm done. So I had a couple misprints earlier. Filament just wasn't cooperating, so I do like that it does give you a nice smooth texture here. So second time, reprint it. So get this to fold over. And I only made this flexible layer like 3 millimeter, like a millimeter thick. My design. And realize right track, but I need to make the inside a little stiffer. But for a first attempt. So now this whole wallet's only like 10 millimeters thick. But yeah, it's a bit too floppy, so I'll revise this later. So you can print multiple materials single head. Watch your flexible filament. It was acting up on me, so I think either I had a retraction setting down or my flow was too weird. But there you have a slim wallet printed with 2 materials. So this is blue is NinjaFlex, and the neon green is Lesbot's green engine. Alright, so I just changed the layers, so now this is going into the ColorFab engine. I'm printing about 245 for this, and the base layer of the TPU ended up being a little rough. I think I accidentally knocked my tool head up maybe like 1/1000th of a millimeter off, so it's a little rough on that layer. But you can see how it's making the outside layer for the box and the inside stiffer. So you can print with 2 different materials in one print, or on one tool head. Now this is a pretty simple technique to just print a layer, one layer, change the color. You just have to make sure that your 2 materials both print at the same temperature. So I just hot swapped the material from the flexible to the rigid. And hot swap is just where I change the color while it's running. I don't like pausing it because sometimes when you do that you get a blob and it just doesn't come out real well. So this is going to take about another hour to print because it's about a 2-hour print. But you can tell already that the rigid layer is laying down. I'm not worried about warping because pretty much you have all of this is stuck to the build plate. You can tell here it's printed on clear packing tape, again to give it that smooth edge, or smooth bottom. Here's a first attempt, and you can see the reflection, how smooth the surface is, and actually you can see some little bubbles there. So bring that into focus. So if there's any bubbles in your packing tape, it will actually show up in your print. So just watch out for that. So just finished this. So let's see how this comes off. And ooh, like it. A little trim, but so here's a flexible wallet with rigid and flex materials. So this was all on a single tool head, printing NinjaFlex and ColorFab Engine. Okay, see how this goes. So you could put easily about, I think I have like 6 cards in here, so this is pretty much everything I carry on me. Yeah, I've got like 6 cards in here. And just fit in perfectly. And for cash, you could just fold it in thirds. And it fits right there as well. And folds over perfectly flat. So, got the clearance there right. And folds over. So, I'll just rubber band it in place. So I'm actually pretty happy with this. Overall thickness comes out to about 11 millimeters without the bills. Bills wedge it up a little bit, so I might just get in the habit of just carrying like a 20 with me. But you can see here, all fits nicely, and all printed in one piece.